Mahavatar Babaji is claimed to be a deathless guru who has maintained a youthful form like millennial, as the autobiography of the yogi says, and is still in the Himalayas with his saintly presence and power of the yoga, which we all know as Kriya Yoga today. It is said that Babaji, born in the 2nd century, was basically from Kadalur in Tamil Nadu, who during later years moved to Rishikesh, the Himalayas. It is believed that Babaji lived in a cave in Kumaon, Almora district, a place where my good friend Superstar Rajinikanth has been going there for over a decade. Kadalur has a house that is claimed to be of Babaji, and I had the privilege of going there. After reading the book of autobiography Yogi, Rajinikanth became an ardent follower of Mahavatar Babaji, and he turned to Kriya Yoga and credits that the practice of Kriya Yoga is responsible for many changes in his life. He told me he has done a lot of courses. He got inspiration and ideas for his most successful films whenever he meditated in Baba's cave. He has shown me the meditation room, a large portrait of Mahavatar Babaji, of course, along with our common Guru Swami Satchidananda of Coimbatore, who established the world-renowned Integral Yoga Institutes in America, and also the all-religious temple Lotus in Yogaville, Virginia, in America. As part of the Mahavatar Babaji's global celebrations, I've been given the task to share some of aspects of the services of Babaji's most celebrated spiritual descendant, disciple, Paramahansa Yogananda Ji, to the world as a whole. Guru Purnima is not a day, an occasion, a ritual, but a state of consciousness. When the students try to tune in their minds to the inner state of the teacher, that is, the disciples to their Guru. We are also celebrating 100 years of since Paramahansa Yogananda's arrival in the United States of America. Yogananda 100 actually is a century of spiritual awakening. Swami Kriyananda, Donald Walters, a 20-year-old young American, became a devoted and favorite disciple of Yogananda after just reading once the autobiography of Yogi. The Spiritual Renewal Week is being celebrated all over, and more particularly at Ananda Village at Nevada, USA, the global headquarters of the Ananda spiritual movement. Ananda was visualized by the great master Yogananda Ji and actually was created by his devoted and celebrated disciple Swami Kriyananda. Ananda, Nevada is one of the most beautiful and serene places on the planet. I had the privilege of being there a number of times on being invited by Swami Kriyananda himself. I had the privilege of becoming very close to Swami Kriyananda. I would say it was my good fortune, as they say, good karma. Swami showered enormous care and love on me from the very first meeting, like it happened with Pujya Patriji, whom I met 20 years back. For many years, Spiritual Renewal Week has been a transforming event for truth seekers from around the world to be inspired by the life and teachings of Paramahansa Yogananda Ji. This is the annual opportunity to connect with long-time devotees of Yogananda, meditate with lifetime meditators, and enjoy classes from some of Ananda's most magnetic teachers who perform a great service to humanity even today all over the world. It will be an exceptional week for anyone seeking to be inspired by the many facets of becoming self-realized. The spiritual teachings of Paramahansa Yogananda, the author of the all-time spiritual classic autobiography of Yogi. Yogananda Ji's arrival in Boston in 1920 marked the beginning of a new wave of spiritual consciousness in America and throughout the world. His mission was one of world peace and brotherhood, as well as individual self-realization, both of which he said could be achieved through the practice of transformative meditation techniques such as Kriya Yoga. He referred to Kriya Yoga as the airplane route to God. When he published his famous autobiography of Yogi in 1946, it was soon after the close of the Second World War, a conflict which he prayed would never be repeated again. The book had tremendous influence and inspired spiritual leaders all over the world for decades together, even today. Through his books, teachings, and practices of meditation and yoga, Yogananda helped usher in sweeping increase in interest in peace, consciousness, and self-transformation. For this work, he is often known as the father of yoga in the West. Swami Kriyananda says, I quote him, "It is not that you need to go out looking for the Guru. The Lord will send him to you, or else draw you to him when you are spiritually ready." Master not only imparted this liberating knowledge to those who sought it, but also motivated those who knew nothing about it to love and study it in great depth. These days we know what Puja Patriji is doing in the same. He also says, when the student is ready, Master will go to him, and he goes all over the planet, even to the people in the ordinary remote places, and to teach Anapanasati meditation and inspire them towards spirituality. So this spiritual nourishment was made available to all age groups to suit their respective mental maturity, as is being done Patriji even today. The eternal law provides each one of us with circumstances in life and an occasion to enjoy or suffer strictly according to and in continuation of our past karma. Some people think that the prerogative of choosing a guru is ours. Think again. It is reality. It is the guru who chooses us. In Mahabharata, Yudhishthira says, contentment is the supreme virtue. It is not a simple state of mind that comes to us when things are going well. It is an attitude to be deliberately practiced and accepting the situation as it is. Yogananda says, I quote, health does not mean mere existence or clinging to the body. Keeping out of the hospital for a number of years is not health. To be able to resist disease, to bear strain and stimulate mental vitality, to feel the body as a luxury, as a bird feels when shooting through the air, and as a child does always, that is health. Now, as we honor the 100th anniversary of Yogananda's arrival in Boston and the birth of his world mission, we celebrate the change of consciousness that began in the 20th century and continues even today. In it lies one of our greatest hopes for the future, even during this global pandemic threatening the existence of all of humanity. In order to achieve success, Yogananda envisioned, you have to master the techniques of yoga that originated from Mahatma Babaji. The techniques which were handed over down from the great Mahatma Babaji to Lahiri Mahasaya were said to be the most effective form of meditation available in this present age. Working with the nadis, subtle energy channels, the pranayama technique would quicken the enlightenment. Paramahansa Yogananda was sent to the West by Babaji, being trained through Lahiri Mahasaya and Swami Sri Yukteswar, his gurus, with the liberating message of Kriya Yoga. So while you pray to Babaji, seek out those in Yogananda's name who act as his emissaries in the world in which he lived. Mahatar Babaji, it was Babaji whose name means revered father, who reintroduced the ancient science of Kriya Yoga, long forgotten after several thousands of years of ancient practices. Like the Anapanasati meditation is being introduced, popularized by Patriji today, though it was practiced 2000 years back, 500 years back by Lord Buddha. It so happens, in between for thousands of years, people forget such wonderful practices. Mahavatar Babaji is the first in our line of Kriya Masters. Through a vision, he told Paramahansa Yogananda to share the teachings of Kriya Yoga in the West also. Babaji's mission in India has been to assist prophets in carrying out their special dispensations. He thus qualifies for the scriptural classification of Mahavatar, great avatar. He has stated that he gave yoga initiation to Adi Shankara, the ancient founder of the Swami order, and also to Kabir, famous medieval saint. Kriya Yoga, the scientific technique of God realization, Babaji told Yogananda, will ultimately spread in all lands and aid in harmonizing the nations through man's personal, transcendental perception of the infinite other. His chief 19th century disciple was, as we know, Lahiri Mahasaya, revivalist of the last Kriya art. Babaji simply means revered father, as I told you earlier. Though the great spiritual master's birth, name, and date are still not definitely known, his subtle spiritual influence is felt throughout the world in many forms. It was he who reintroduced the ancient science of Kriya Yoga, which had been lost through the dark ages due to priestly secrecy and man's indifference, as Yogananda puts it. Mahavatar is the title given to Babaji as Supreme Avatar, as I told you earlier. Yogananda has written in Autobiography Yogi that the deathless avatar has resided for untold years in the remote Himalayan regions of India, revealing himself only rarely to a blessed few. It is Babaji who revived in this age the lost scientific meditation technique. Yogananda was personally blessed by Mahavatar Babaji and also his descendants Lahiri Mahasaya and Swami Yukteswar, all the three of the Param Gurus in his spiritual lineage, to carry out the mission of disseminating Kriya Yoga worldwide. In Paramahansa Yogananda's autobiography Yogi, many references are made to Mahavatar Babaji, the second coming of Christ. In his book, The Second Coming of Christ, Yogananda states that Jesus Christ went to India and conferred with Babaji. This should make Babaji at least 2000 years old. Some words about the magnum opus, Autobiography Yogi. In 1946, the great Indian master Yogananda published his famous autobiography Yogi. His book has sold over 1 million copies, has been named one of the top 100 spiritual books of the last century, has become the most widely read spiritual autobiography of all time. Just now we heard about from Patriji also how much he was inspired by reading Autobiography Yogi. Yogananda's story has inspired many millions of readers to seek God and divine joy within themselves. The challenges and accomplishments of great spiritual masters are detailed in this landmark book. It continues to be the go-to book for seekers, philosophers, and yoga enthusiasts, even today all over the world. The best-selling spiritual biography of all time, and is still, after more than 60 years, among the best-selling spiritual books in the world. I think after 74 years, actually. The book, available in dozens of languages, influenced celebrities and thought leaders, ranging from Steve Jobs to George Harrison. It's also believed to be the only book Steve Jobs carried in his pad and known to all the world. His last gift to friends and employees on his deathbed after his death was a copy of the book, which we consider as the most valuable gift. Yogananda was also a vocal supporter of Mahatma Gandhi. He lectured about him at Harvard, visited Gandhi's ashram in Wardha in 1935. He gave Gandhi, at his request, a lesson in Kriya Yoga, ancient meditation method he learned from his guru. Yogananda taught his students Hatha Yoga as a way to prepare the body and mind for meditation. He developed a system called energization exercises, which is to charge the body with the life current of the universe and keep the diseases from settling down. He encouraged his students to use their body as a living laboratory in which they could conduct experiments and observe results firsthand. Don't take my word for anything he says. Apply these techniques and find out for yourself. That is what Lord Buddha also told his disciples. What is the purpose of life? According to Yogananda ji, finding God is the purpose of life. I quote some of his thoughts. Many people say they may doubt that finding God is a purpose of life, but everyone can accept the idea that the purpose of life is to find happiness. I say that God is happiness, He is bliss, He is love, He is joy, that will never go away from your soul. So why should you not try to acquire that happiness? No one else can give it to you. You must cultivate it yourself. Even if life gave you at what time everything you wanted, wealth, power, friends, after a while you would again become dissatisfied and need something more. But there is one thing that can never become stale to you: joy itself. Happiness that is delightfully varied, though its essence is changelessness, is the inner experience everyone is seeking. Lasting, ever new joy is God. Finding this joy within, you will find it in everything without. In God, you will tap the reservoir of perennial unending bliss, he says. Yogananda says, the joy of God is boundless, unceasing, all the time new. Body, mind, nothing can disturb you when you are in that consciousness. Such is the grace and glory of the Lord. And he will explain to you whatever you have not been able to understand, everything you want to know. When you sit in the silence of deep meditation, joy bubbles up from within, roused by no outer stimulus. The joy of meditation is overwhelming. Those who have not gone into the silence of true meditation do not know what real joy is. That is what Patriji also has experienced and telling millions of followers around the world through his Ara Parasati meditation, a different version of the same again. As the mind and the feeling are directed towards, you begin to feel God's joy. The pleasures of the senses do not last, but the joy of God is everlasting. It is incomparable. Very few of us know, Yogananda says, how much we can put into life if we use it properly, wisely and economically. Let us economize our time. Lifetimes ebb away before we wake up. And that is why we do not realize the value of the immortal time God given us. He says, do not while away your time in idleness. A great many people occupy themselves with inconsequential activities. Ask them what they have been doing, they will usually say, oh, I have been busy every minute. But they can scarcely remember what they were so busy about. Yogananda says the love of God, the love of the Spirit, is an all-consuming love. Once you have experienced it, it shall lead you on and on the eternal realms. That love will never be taken away from your heart. It shall burn there, and its fire you shall find the great magnetism of spirit that draws others unto you and attracts whatever you truly need or desire. Yoganandaji says, I have to conclude, I'm telling, man has come on earth solely to learn the true God. He is here for no other reason. This is the true message of the Lord to all those who seek and love him. He tells of that great life where there is no pain, no old age, no war, no death, only eternal assurance. In that life, nothing is destroyed. There is only ineffable happiness that will never grow stale, a happiness always new. Some words about the great institution Ananda. Ananda was founded in 1969 by Yogananda's direct disciple, Swami Kriyananda, who passed away in 2013. Swami Kriyananda's spiritual successor is Naya Swami Jyotish, who along with Naya Swami Devi serve as Ananda's spiritual director, spreading the message all over the world tirelessly. Ananda is a global spiritual movement based on the teachings of Paramahansa Yogananda, who showed how everyone can realize God in their daily lives as a tangible, loving reality. These are spiritual communities called as World Brotherhood Colonies to support people on the spiritual path from all walks of life. Here you can feel harmony and God's active presence in your life through ancient and effective techniques including meditation, Kriya Yoga, spirituality-oriented Hatha Yoga, community, and divine friendship. Kriya Yoga is a highly effective meditation technique that can be integrated into any meditation and prayer practice. Ananda helps people to achieve self-realization, a state of consciousness that comes through shedding all outward self-definitions. Ananda's communities and centers welcome all sincere seekers, regardless of race, religion, national origin, gender, sexual orientation, age, or disability. We are committed to providing an inclusive, welcoming environment for everyone to pursue their search for God By personalizing his own quest for enlightenment, sharing his struggles along the path, Yogananda ji made yoga accessible to modern audience, attracting many followers and inspiring millions who practice the ancient tradition today. His Kriya Yoga teachings are widely practiced. Widely regarded as the father of yoga in the West, Yogananda devoted his life to the spread of knowledge about the techniques of yoga meditation, a foundation that has today catapulted into International Yoga Day. Yogananda Foundation has been doing enormous service in spirituality as well as social service all over the world. In Delhi alone, the Yogananda Foundation, headed by a charitable-minded lady, Pia Singh of DLF, taking care of thousands of neglected old widows in the sacred city Vrindavan. They have also provided food and essentials to hundreds of thousands of the migrant poor during the lockdown during the corona crisis. They also provide medical equipment and many services now. Now, a few words about the Awake, award-winning documentary on the life of Yogananda. This documentary features interviews with the likes of George Harrison, lead guitarist of the Beatles, who says he wouldn't be alive if he had not read that book, Sitar Master Ravi Shankar, and the New Age spiritual guru Deepak Chopra. The film explains that yoga at its core is a meditative practice designed to expand one's consciousness. And thanks to the foundation Yogananda laid here, a century ago, modern American yogis have a rich tradition of spirituality available to them. Di Floria, director of the now famous spiritual biographic film Awake, says, I quote, in Yogananda's teachings, he talks about reversing the searchlights of our senses, which are always pointed outwards toward the world around us. He teaches us to turn the searchlight back on ourselves to go within. When we do so, we gain access to a new realm of information, an intuitive realm that is the key to any creative process. She says, with this film, we hope to broaden the definition of what yoga means in the West, beyond asana practice. It is about awakening to our true nature, to who we really are. Through Yogananda's story, the film invites us to remember and recognize the divinity or oneness, not only within ourselves, but within everyone and everything around us. The practice of yoga is an eightfold path, and meditation leads us to this experience of oneness. She continues, Yogananda broke down his teachings for us in volumes of step-by-step lessons of to live. They lead us to a fundamental truth. We are not the body, we are the ocean of consciousness, as he would say. Meditation is about remembering that and experiencing it over and over again. I think of a better way to live, the famous director of the film says. So the Swami Kriyananda is the most devoted disciple of Yogananda. I have seen many disciples who are devoted to the masters, but I have not seen devoted devotion of a disciple to a guru like Swami Kriyananda. He has shared with me many hours how much he is so much inspired by. He wrote 150 books, and he wrote 400 poems. He's a great singer himself. But he says, whatever I have read, whatever I have spoken, he is all inspired by my guru. Only his thoughts I am reflecting. He says, my life with Professor Yogananda, he says, in reality, the only account ever written by someone who lived with a master. That is a beautiful thing. The reader of Autobiography Yogi, I will conclude with this. He says, I'm quoting him, the reader of Autobiography Yogi is likely, after finishing that inspiring book, wonder what it was like to live with his author. For Yogananda wrote much less about himself than about the great saints he had met. Though through his book is an autobiography, he manages to give the impression that he was only a humble devotee, seeking wisdom at the feet of those great saints. The truth is, however, that he was born already fully enlightened and was wiser than most of the saints about whom he wrote. In these last years, he told his disciple, Kriyananda, I quote Kriyananda, I went to those saints for guidance, but they kept looking for answers to me. Such evidently was his life role. It was similar in this respect to that of Arjuna. The already enlightened soul, he played the role of humble seeker of truth from Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. In this book, New Path, Yoga directly in the master's own words, it serves as a handbook for every truth seeker by addressing the common problems everyone faces on the spiritual path. Full of fascinating stories, humor, and insight, the new path conveys high teachings and deep but simply stated truths with illustrated doctrines. As one reader explained, after reading this book, I felt as if I too had lived with Yogananda. Ladies and gentlemen, the great devotees, disciples of Patriji, the meditators of Anasati meditation, the enlightened masters, I can carry on and on now. I know that my time is up. So I quote him here: to spread a spirit of brotherhood among all people and to aid in establishing in many countries self-sustaining world brotherhood colonies for plain living and high thinking. That is what the Pyramid Spiritual Society movement also is doing with its 20,000 pyramids all over the world and thousands of devoted meditators. Patriji has created gurus, many gurus I have seen, I have experienced the teachings of young masters like Shreyans Daga and Chandrasekhar and Dr. Newton. So ultimately, you will find when you go through all this, what is happening today with the PSM movement is also carrying on the great spiritual teachings of Bhagavatar Babaji, Paramas Yogananda ji, Swami Kriyananda, and the worldwide Ananda movement today. Namaskar. Thank you very much.